a new gadget lets you drive with a virtual lawyer in your car in case you're pulled over for drunk driving. It's a passport-sized booklet that instructs the driver to pass his license and insurance card through a small crack in the window, then play the booklet's recording telling the officer he will not step out of the car. Police, prosecutors, and anti-drunk driving groups are outraged, but the lawyer who invented it insists he's just trying to make motorists aware of their rights and protect them from overzealous officers. Joining us now in Chicago is DUI defense attorney and inventor of Ramsell's roadside rights, Don Ramsell. Hello, Mr. Ramsell.
Hi, Alan.
Why would you want to offer a device that basically helps people fight DUI and aids them in that kind of a behavior?
Well, I've been doing this for 16 years, defending people accused of DUI, and I've handled over 7,000 cases. Most people don't know how often the police manipulate the facts and the junk science that's used for field sobriety tests, and how often people are falsely accused of DUI.
So the only person it seems who would ever buy this device would be somebody who was thinking of drinking and driving, right? Otherwise, why would you get it?
Well, I think it's important for everybody to know what their rights are under a variety of circumstances.
But that's not the question. Why even get the device in the first place unless you're going to be drinking and driving?
Well, it's certainly not illegal to drink and then drive as long as you're not impaired. So that may include a large population of people that think they've done nothing wrong.
Do you encourage people to drink and drive?
I encourage people to follow the law, but I don't encourage them to not drink simply for fear that the police may abuse their process.
Why do something and offer a product which will only help somebody with that goal of drinking and driving in the first place? Shouldn't the message be, if you want to drink, don't drive. If you want to drive, don't drink. Wouldn't that be a safer message? Why conflate the two with a device that helps the two marry each other?
Well, I think that's what the mad mothers want you to believe. I think that people should be able to go out, drink responsibly, and if they're not impaired, be allowed to go home without having their car towed and being forced to go to court.
Well, you're basically helping people anticipate a DUI. These are people who would go out and drink. Maybe they'll feel safer driving, knowing that they have this device, and maybe they'll have an extra drink or two. Isn't that what you might be encouraging?
Actually, this kit has a lot more to it. It has charts for how much you should be allowed to drink or should stop drinking based on your weight and the amount. It gives you a variety of ways to know how to do things responsibly, yet preserve your rights.
All right, Mr. Ramsell, welcome to the program. You said you've been doing this 16 years. How many of these people that you represented were actually guilty? We're driving drunk, we're breaking the law, we're risking other citizens' lives. Probably a number of them, right?
Oh, certainly, of course.
Okay. So you get them off, you assist them in getting off so they can drink again. You've empowered them to break the law so that they can go out there and put our lives at risk. That's a pretty selfish thing, if you ask me.
Well, I appreciate the credit that you think I get all the guilty people off. I think that the people in the system would know that doesn't happen that often.
Well, now I understand from the Chicago Tribune, you yourself were arrested twice on suspicion of DUI and acquitted both times.
That is correct.
So you use these methods yourself, I assume.
Well, I know my rights. Fortunately, I'm a lawyer, so I know better than to do silly things on the side of the road that have nothing to do with operating a vehicle.
Well, Counselor, here's the danger in what you're doing. You are empowering people to drive drunk. You're giving them the mechanism and the means to beat the system as best they possibly can. Even if they are drunk, they use your system, and there's a greater likelihood they get off. The fear of arrest is a deterrent. You're taking that deterrent away. And they may get off, they may feel empowered, they may drink more, and they may kill more people. Did you ever think of that?
Well, I think you could use the same argument for the founders of the Constitution that gave us the right of free speech, which you're enjoying right now, the right to an attorney, the right to remain silent, and all those other rights. So I think, though, all I'm doing is letting people know their rights, something they basically have known since 6th grade.
Yeah, but it's more than that. What you're giving them is the ability to beat the system. You're saying, here, if you're drunk, you follow these instructions that I'm giving you, very specific instructions, and there's a greater likelihood that you're going to get off scot-free. Look, if you're not drunk, they don't need your system. If they're not drinking and they're not driving drunk, they're not going to need you. So the fact is, you're helping the people that are drunk, that have broken the law, that are a risk to others, get off. And then so they can kill again.
Well, I think you've probably spent too much time in the studio and not enough time on the streets, because that's not how it's actually happening out there. Anybody that's driving after midnight with the odor of alcohol on their breath even if they're not driving impaired, is getting arrested nowadays. The police are getting federal funds based on the number of arrests they make. The municipalities get fine money for it.
You know what a better solution is, though? It's called a designated driver. Call a cab. I don't care how much people drink. Call a cab. Why don't you offer your kits with free phone numbers for cabs?
Well, actually, a cab would be cheaper than my kit.
All right. Well, you're making money off this too. Look, we got to take a break. Thank you very much.